Now we're going to look into making more prefabs, some different versions or different sizes of our existing prefabs, and then eventually some totally different looking versions of our prefabs. So let's start by making a larger version of our platform. Right now we've got one that's 4 wide, and let's say that I want to have a platform that's also 5 wide. I don't just want to have them all 4 wide. Maybe I want them 2, 4, 6, whatever. Let's say I want one that's slightly bigger. Let's make a change to grass platform 4 here, this second one, and let's just modify it. First thing I want to do is just rename it to grass platform 5, so I know that's the one that I'm changing to be 5 wide. Then we'll adjust our tile size to be 3 instead of 2, and notice that it's kind of there, but it's just kind of back behind the ground. You can't really see our new tiling. If I go over to the view, well, you can kind of see it breaks the tiling. Looks weird, but it doesn't look right. So we need to go back to grass platform 5, and I'm sure you've probably guessed, we need to move these two children, the grass right and left, over about another ½ meter. So if I grab and control drag, I can snap it over, or I can go select it and then choose a value of -2. So now I've got one that is 5 units wide, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. So I want to make this into a prefab as well. I've got a couple of different options here. First thing I could do is I could hit overrides and hit apply all. But if I do that, what's going to happen is all of my platforms are going to change to be 5 wide. That's not what I want to do. So I'm going to hit Control Z or Command Z, whatever your hotkey is, and we're going to instead create a new prefab. We'll take our grass platform and drag it down here. And we get a couple options. We can either do an original prefab or a prefab variant, which might sound kind of tempting, but I'm going to tell you to just avoid that temptation for now. We're going to look at prefab variants later, but we're going to use them slightly different. We don't want to use them for the sizes. We'll use them for our visuals instead. So we're going to choose an original prefab, and now we've got a grass platform 5 and a grass platform 4. Okay, let's say we want one that's 6 wide. Here's a quick challenge. Go ahead and try to make one that's 6 wide. I'll let you pause, make that platform, and then resume, and I'll show you. We'll make one that's 6 and then another one that's 2. In fact, if you want to make the one that's 2 wide, go ahead and try that as well. All right, I'll assume that you've already done them. Let's go through the process. So I've got my grass platform 4 here. I'm going to just rename this and hit F2. We'll name this grass platform 6. I'm going to hit F over the scene view to go focus that object and zoom out. We'll adjust the tile size to be 4 because I want this to be 6 wide, which is 4 plus the 2 on the edges. So I'll adjust that to be a 4, expand out the children, change this child value to be at 2.5 on the right, and on the left we'll make it be -2.5. Now we'll go to my grass platform, drag it down, and make this again an original prefab. Now for the second platform, or the 2 wide platform, I'm going to do it totally differently. Instead, I'm going to I'm going to single click on my grass platform. I'm going to duplicate it with Control or Command D. This is down here in the project view. Now I have a grass platform 7. I'm going to rename this though to grass platform 2. We're going to double click on it to open it and view it in prefab edit mode. This time I want to modify it slightly differently. We'll do it in prefab edit mode. Now to have one that's 2 wide, I actually don't need anything in the center. I just need these 2 edge pieces. So I'm going to disable the sprite renderer and disable the box collider. I'm going to take the grass right and I'm going to change the value to be 0.5, and I'll change the grass left to be a value of -0.5. Now we've got 2 little boxes right next to each other. We have these other components here. I've left them on just in case we decide we need them later, but as it is right now, we don't need them. So they're kind of extra, just sitting there just in case we decide, hey, we're going to go do something with them. Probably, though, what we'll really do is just remove them later. But for now, we'll just leave them disabled because I want you to see that it's going to work exactly the same. Now we're going to go back out of prefab edit mode by hitting the back arrow here and hit save. And now we don't have any of those 2 wide grass platforms in our scene yet. So let's go add one. In fact, let's go select this one. I'll take this grass platform 4 and let's go replace it. We'll right click on it, choose prefab, and choose replace, not select asset. And then we'll choose the platform 2 right here. We can also go to list view if you want to see them by name, but I can tell that this is the 2 wide one because it's quite a bit narrower, or less wide, and I can see the name down below. So I'll just double click on it, and now I've got my too wide platform there. I'm going to save my scene, press play, and run around on these platforms just to make sure that everything is still working kind of as I expect. So here we go. Whoops, jump and run and jump. Jump, this is that too wide platform. Yep, it seems good. And so far, I mean, it seems like everything is working pretty good. Let's go check out our water one more time. All right, so we'll stop playing and we're gonna go into Plastic SEM and say that make sure that we've saved our scene. We've added 3 more grass platforms. Added 3 new grass platforms. Or is it 3 or 4? Yeah, 3. And then we'll check in our changes.